Pretend to work. The number of unemployed white-collar workers in Chinese cafes is on the rise. Exclusive interview: Mainland Chinese business tycoon reveals details of bribery by Communist Party officials. Hefei, over 3,000 households delighted with new homes, rumors of several buildings tilting several tens of centimeters. Massive interception of over 100 harvesters at Henan toll station. Heavy rainfall causes grain mold. Wave of fashion brands closing stores. H&M to shut down Flagship store in Beijing. It's all covered in today's China Truths. Pretend to work. The number of unemployed white-collar workers in Chinese cafes is on the rise. Since the beginning of this year, due to the economic downturn in China, layoffs have been prevalent across various industries, and even some former white-collar professionals have lost their jobs. Many unemployed individuals find it difficult to face their families and seek refuge in places like Starbucks. They spend their days lingering in coffee shops, libraries, or public areas of bookstores, browsing the internet, submitting resumes, or simply killing time, temporarily escaping the harsh reality. After a Chinese netizen recently posted about this phenomenon on social media, it resonated with and drew attention from numerous netizens, leading to the topic of Starbucks filled with people not going to work has become a hot topic on Chinese social media. The author of the public account Deep Ignition Finance and Economics recently conducted on-site visits to places like Starbucks and published an article on May 28, depicting the experiences of several former white-collar individuals who have become long-term residents of coffee shops. The article also delved into the inner struggles and anxieties they face daily in this seemingly glamorous environment where they pretend to be working. The first individual was interviewed named Li Hai, pseudonyms, who just turned 30. He used to work for an e-commerce department of an internet company in Beijing. In early April of this year, to reduce costs, the company dissolved the e-commerce department where Li Hai worked, leaving dozens of employees jobless. With elderly parents and young children to support, and burdened with mortgage and car loans, Li suddenly found himself facing a midlife crisis without any warning. Not wanting to burden his family with this pressure, he chose to continue pretending to go to work every day and clock in at a nearby coffee shop near his home. He has sent out hundreds of resumes, but only had 5 or 6 interviews, and out of those, only one company showed slight interest. However, the salary they offered for that position was only about 50% of what he earned in his previous job, and in the end, he never received a job offer from them. Li said, "I feel like I'm being slowly consumed by anxiety and confusion every day in the coffee shop." He noted that a significant number of individuals were facing similar circumstances. Instead of socializing in groups as before, it has become increasingly common to find people sitting alone in coffee shops with their laptops, pretending to go to work in order to avoid arousing suspicion from their families. Exclusive interview: Mainland Chinese business tycoon reveals details of bribery by Communist Party officials. The corruption within the Chinese Communist Party, CCP, has long been a topic of discussion, but the extent and depth of this corruption remain elusive to many. Recently, a former affluent Chinese businessman who now resides in the United States shed light on the dark underbelly of CCP corruption in an interview with NTD-TV. He revealed how he was coerced into making contributions against his will. This businessman, who goes by the name Meng Jun, had a business presence in Beijing in 2001. He mentioned that officials in Beijing would not openly express their desires, so gift givers had to employ subtle tactics to inquire about the preferences of leaders through their secretaries. Former businessman said, "If you don't cater to their preferences, you won't be able to get things done. It's not just about luxury watches, let me tell you, there are also antiques and such. You have to identify the ones they like, right? Jade bracelets and so on, right? They won't directly ask for it, but they will say it's nice and good. Then you understand, you get the picture." To conduct business, one must offer kickbacks to the leaders, but these kickbacks cannot be given directly to the individuals involved, but to someone you don't know. That's the rule, it's the standard practice. Meng Jun stated that aside from money, there is also the involvement of sexual favors, specifically in assisting leaders in their expenditures at pornographic establishments. For example, there are several major clubs in Beijing that they designate places they are familiar with. I just need to go there and cover their expenses, pay the bills. One bill can amount to several 100,000 yuan. If there is a high volume of business, I might have to go once a week, and if it's a low volume, once a month. Meng said that in all these years, he hardly encountered any officials who weren't corrupt. You have to be corrupt. If you're not corrupt, you really can't survive in this environment. For example, for lower-level officials, even giving them 5,000 yuan is enough, like a little red envelope. But for department-level officials, you would definitely need 10 to 20,000 yuan. If it's a bureau chief, then it's definitely 30 to 50,000 yuan. And for deputy ministers, it's in the hundreds of thousands. Meng Jun's company used to provide support to over a dozen departments simultaneously. He mentioned that among them, the most corrupt one was the fire department. In 1996 and 1997, Meng Jun operated a seafood restaurant in Guangxi. The three main departments that the catering business had to contribute to were industry and commerce, taxation, and health. When they come to inspect you, it's actually to see if you understand the rules. This includes taxes, so we would give the minimum standard tax payment. I remember at that time we gave a red envelope of around 5,000 yuan for 2 people. In 2004, Nanning in Guangxi became the permanent venue for the China ASEAN Expo. Meng Jun invested over 5 million yuan and opened a luxurious restaurant specifically for networking purposes. The people who consume in there are government officials, including the vice chairman of the autonomous region, vice chairman of the Political Consultative Conference, deputy chairman of the People's Congress, and representatives from the Literary Federation. Meng Jun expressed that the darkness of the CCP's officialdom is beyond the imagination of ordinary people, and there is nothing they cannot do. He said, I deeply regret it. I deeply regret it. People like me have nurtured their corruption and their evil deeds. After getting involved with them, I was actually being exploited by them. Let me tell you, sometimes they would call you at 1 or 2 in the morning and ask you to come over. Will you go or not? If they lost in gambling and needed you to bring money, you had to go immediately and deliver it to them. The former businessman said that if the CCP doesn't collapse, there is no hope for China. As long as CCP officials remain in power, they will always use the power they have to seek benefits for themselves. Hefei, over 3,000 households delighted with new homes? Rumors of several buildings tilting several tens of centimeters. More than 3,000 households of the Longguhuading resettlement project in Yaohai district, Hefei city, became homeless when it was reported that the entire newly built building was tilted. Residents gathered outside the apartment complex to demand explanations, loudly demanding their homes. The topic quickly went viral on Chinese social media. According to a video circulated online on May 28, the distribution of keys in the southern section of Longguhuading in Yaohai district, Hefei city, has been completely halted. The authorities have also admitted that several buildings in the community have tilted several meters. Local residents have expressed their frustration, stating, it took a whole 12 years from demolition to housing allocation. But now, due to the leaning of the buildings, they are once again left homeless. A large number of affected individuals who had planned to move in gathered outside the community to demand an explanation. They shouted, "We want our houses. We want our houses." Meanwhile, the person in charge of mediating the situation responded loudly, "Where can you buy a house for 9,577 yuan?" Chaos ensued at the scene. Public opinion on this matter is divided. Many internet users mocked the situation, saying, if one house tilts, it's a quality issue, but if all the houses in the community tilt, it becomes a form of creativity. Others commented, it surpasses the wonders of Shonan, leaning upwards, leaning downwards, faithfully following, without deviation, generating revenue through paid visits. There were also remarks about the high land prices, heavy taxes, rising costs of construction materials and labor, and restricted selling prices of houses, leading to financial losses if costs are not reduced. Therefore, the question arises, where does the problem lie? Corruption is everywhere, and it's only getting worse. Massive interception of over 100 harvesters at Henan toll station. Heavy rainfall causes grain mold. Nanyang City in Henan Province, known as a major wheat-producing area in China, has entered the busy season of wheat harvesting, attracting a significant number of combined harvesters from other regions. However, local toll stations on the highways have halted over 100 combined harvesters for several days due to various regulations. According to a post on the NetEase platform by an account named Yuliang Jun on May 28, a large number of combine harvesters have been stranded at the Tanga toll station in Nanyang due to various reasons. Some of these harvesters have been trapped for up to 7 days, while others have been stuck for up to 5 days. The reasons given by the toll station for the interception include operating without a license, exceeding width, height, or weight limits. Some drivers also posted videos online claiming that their combine harvesters were being intercepted at the Tanga County toll station in Nanyang City, preventing them from exiting the highway. In the video, the driver expressed his confusion, stating that his combine harvester clearly met the criteria for toll-free passage. He questioned why the local traffic police insisted on measuring the width and height of his vehicle and trapping his combine harvester on the highway. Significantly, on May 24, the Meteorological Department had predicted persistent rainfall in the southern region of Henan, encompassing Nanyang and Xinjiang, precisely during the time when local residents were harvesting their wheat. On May 25, rain showers and thunderstorms affected the entire province, including Nanyang. The incident involving the stranded harvesters at the station has inflicted considerable damage to the crops of the local population. In one video shared on Douyin, a man laments that his 500 to 600 mu, 33 to 40 hectares, of wheat have all rotted in the fields, resulting in no grain yield this year. Another video circulating on WeChat shows an elderly farmer holding a handful of blackened and moldy wheat grains while wiping tears with the other hand. Behind him, vast stretches of wheat fields are turning black and molding. Numerous netizens have expressed that their wheat crops have also succumbed to mold. Comments such as "Our wheat at home has all gone moldy, 17 mu, 1.1 hectares, of wheat, the wheat in my area, Zhoukou, Henan, has started sprouting, and the wheat in Shandong is also ruined" have been shared by several individuals. Promptly, the topic of over 100 combined harvesters being unable to exit the highway due to their excessive width and height gained significant traction on social media. As a result, people's crops were left unharvested, leading to widespread mold and attracting strong criticism from the public. The Nanyang Agricultural and Rural Bureau in Henan Province has stated that the reason combined harvesters were not allowed to exit the highway was because the drivers had not obtained the oversized vehicle transit permit in a timely manner. Under pressure from public opinion, the local government has demanded toll stations on the highway to allow their passage. However, based on the calculations in the aforementioned article, assuming a combined harvester can harvest 100 mu of land per day, the stranded harvesters could have smoothly harvested 30,000 mu of wheat before the rain. Now, these wheat crops are quietly soaking in water. The total wheat planting area in Nanyang is only 10 million mu, yet a single toll station has caused such significant losses for Nanyang. Who will bear this loss? One netizen said, "The greatest evil of human nature is not killing or arson but rather the tendency to unnecessarily create difficulties for others within one's own capacity." This year, the wheat, which is the staple food for 1.4 billion people, has been lost to the highway. Strict investigations must be conducted. Congratulations to the Tanga toll station, you've won. Wave of fashion brands closing stores, H&M to shut down flagship store in Beijing. Swedish fashion brand H&M has announced the closure of its flagship store in Mainland, Beijing. This is just the tip of the iceberg of a large number of Western fashion brands withdrawing from the Chinese market in recent years. According to a report by Red Star Capital on May 28, H&M's flagship store in Mainland, Beijing, will officially cease operations on June 11. H&M's PR team in China stated that after the closure of the Sanlitun flagship store, they will continue to search for suitable store locations in Beijing and other cities in China to open brand new flagship stores. This is another major adjustment for H&M in China following the closure of its flagship store on Huaihai Middle Road in Shanghai in June 2022. In the past 6 months, the wave of store closures by H&M in China has been escalating. According to a report by Times Finance on March 16, netizens discovered that the H&M Workers' Union CC store near West Lake in Hangzhou would be closing at the end of March. As of March this year, H&M stores in Guangzhou's Gaoda Plaza, Jingjia Square, and Baiyun Wanda have quietly withdrawn. Additionally, store closures have also occurred in cities such as Qingdao, Zhuhai, Beijing, and Chongqing. H&M stated that in 2023, they will continue store rebuilding and adjustments, with plans to open 100 new stores and close 200, resulting in a net decrease of approximately 100 stores. The majority of new stores will be in growing markets, while closures will primarily occur in mature markets. Public information shows that H&M began a significant wave of store closures in mainland China in the second half of 2021. Their financial report indicates that by the end of 2021, H&M had closed 60 stores in China, accounting for 12% of its total store count. H&M released a statement on November 30 last year, announcing the reduction of 1,500 employees as a cost-cutting measure. In February of this year, H&M released its annual performance report for fiscal year 2022, shedding light on the company's financial status. The group recorded a net sales revenue of over $20 billion, representing a 6% increase compared to the previous year. However, the report also revealed a significant decline in net profit, which dropped by 68% to approximately $329 million. Helena Helmerson, the CEO of the group, stated that geopolitical factors and inflation significantly impacted H&M's performance during the fiscal year 2022. In fact, it's not just H&M. In recent years, several fast fashion brands have made their exit from the Chinese market. According to a report by Jiemian News, a comprehensive investigation has revealed that the Spanish brand Zara has closed stores in multiple cities across the country in the past year. These include Beijing, Shanghai, Guangzhou, Yantai, Zibo, Chongqing, and Hangzhou. Similarly, another Spanish fast fashion brand, Mango, has also captured attention with its recent announcement of closing down all physical stores in China. Mango initially entered the Chinese market in 2002. Don't forget to comment in the section below to share your opinions on today's topic with us. Make sure to like and subscribe to see more interesting topics from China Truths.